Today, I will share our estimated monthly costs to retire in Serbia, including rent, groceries, utilities, internet, cell phone, restaurants, drinking water, laundry, and transportation if the two of us were to retire here on a tight budget. Serbia is a country in Europe that is north of Greece and east of Italy. Serbia became a European Union candidate in 2012, but prices are still reasonable because it has not adopted the euro yet. Serbia gained its independence from Yugoslavia when communism fell in the 1990s. On my first tour of Eastern Europe in 2013, I spent some time in Serbia. I was surprised at how beautiful the country was, the landscape, the architecture, and the history. I also noticed that Serbian women in particular were strikingly tall and beautiful. I've spent the last 17 years slowly traveling around the world to find the best places in the world to retire overseas. Once a year, I share the top 15 places in the world to retire overseas, but I only share places where I've had my feet on the ground. After I share my costs of living or retiring in Serbia, I'll share what I learned about Serbian healthcare, food, real estate, things to do, social considerations, visas, walkability, weather, internet speeds, and expat considerations. Okay, estimated cost to retire in Serbia. For my estimate, I'll share the cost to retire in Belgrade, Serbia, the capital. But if I were to live in a smaller city or rural area of Serbia, I would probably be able to reduce the following estimate by 30% or more. I gathered this data with my feet on the ground in Belgrade in July of 2024. Okay, rents. Today I found this furnished studio apartment with a long-term lease at 400 euros or $442 per month in Belgrade, Serbia. The bus to Republic Square is 35 minutes from this apartment. If this one is gone when you read this, I found it on this website, link provided. Right-click on the web page to translate it into English. If you rent for a short term on Airbnb, it would be much more expensive. A larger apartment or an apartment closer to the Old Town center could easily cost twice as much per month. So, for the middle range expenses, I estimate $800 per month or more depending upon area and size. Here's the process we use to find great apartments. So we will show you a table of all of the estimated expenses in a moment. We'll use $442 US per month for our lower rent estimate and $800 per month for the middle cost of living estimate for expats who want more space. Okay, utilities. For the apartment above, we estimate the year-round utilities for us would be about $80 per month. That's average per month year-round. The utilities would cost more for the larger space, starting at around $150 US per month. Groceries. We would shop in the farmer's market for fresh fruits and vegetables and purchase non-perishable foods and other things like shampoo and detergents in the grocery stores. We estimate about $280 US per month for groceries. Other expats are likely to spend more on imported groceries they would miss from home, spending $340 US per month or more on groceries, since most don't go to the farmers markets. Okay, restaurants. We would eat out twice per week, mostly in more local style restaurants, averaging about $8 to $12 US per meal per person, and 1 or 2 splurges per month of about $16 to $18 US per meal per person. If you add all that up, we would spend about $210 per month for the two of us in restaurants. We may have a beer here and there, but that will be covered below under alcohol. Okay, other expats are likely to eat more Western-style foods in expensive expat-style restaurants and less in local-style restaurants, so they would likely spend more like $310 per month for two people in restaurants. It is lifestyle dependent. Okay, cell phone data. The MTS SIM card for 30 days in Serbia I got at the bus station when I arrived cost $800 local, which is about $8 for 30 days with 10 gigabytes of data. My Android phone will act as a hotspot so we can both be on the phone together when we're out of the house together. Other retired expats couples are likely to buy 2 prepaid SIM cards, so they would need about $16 per month. That's 2 for $8 each. A laundry. The apartments all seem to have clothes washing machines. The above grocery estimate includes laundry detergent, so no extra for laundry. Drinking water. We read online that the water is safe to drink in all major cities in Serbia, but to use bottled water if you head out to the country. So no extra for us since we are in the largest city. Internet. AT&T tests said our Airbnb Wi-Fi router had 50 megabits per second down and 30 megabits per second upload speeds. We read online that these speeds cost about $20 US per month for in-home Wi-Fi. You can get much faster for about $30 US per month. Public transportation. Public transportation tickets cost an average of about $2.60 US per person for a day pass. Our daily needs are so walkable that we would probably average just 1 ride per week or 4 per month each, 8 per month for the 2 of us, or about $22 per month for bus tickets. We'd probably take another 4 Hyundai taxi app rides per month, averaging about $4 each, or $16 per month for taxis. So our total estimated transportation would be about $38 per month for the 2 of us. Other expats might walk less and spend more on taxis and less on public transportation, so I estimate about $120 per month for them. Alcohol, which is optional, of course. Domestic beers in grocery stores start at about 90 cents US for the half-liter size, which is about 50% larger than a standard size beer in the US. In bars and restaurants, half-liter draft domestic beers run from about $3 to $6 US. We estimate about $110 per month on alcohol for the 2 of us. Many other expats would spend a higher amount for imported foreign or craft beers in expat bars, so about $220 US per month for 2 people, assuming they're not into imported whiskey or wine. Entertainment, which is optional, of course. We'd budget about $200 per month for entertainment for the 2 of us. We enjoy doing more do-it-yourself kinds of entertainment, so expats would spend a little more, maybe $300 per month for the 2 of them. Okay, let's add it all up. Estimated costs to retire in Belgrade, Serbia. For the lower cost, rent, $442, utilities, $80, groceries, $280, restaurants, $210 US, cell data, $8 US, laundry and drinking water, $0, internet, $28 US, transportation, $38 US. So for the lower cost estimate, it would be $1,086 per month US. The 110 alcohol, if you add, would bring it to $1,196 per month. You add the 200 entertainment, it would bring you to $1,396 US. Okay, let's add up the middle cost for the more groceries, more rent, and utilities, etc. Rent, $800, utilities, $150, $340 for groceries, $310 for restaurants, $16 for cell data, $30 for drinking water, $28 for internet, and $120 for transportation, would be $1,794 for basic costs in the middle range. Add alcohol at $220, it would put you $1,994. Add optional entertainment of $300, and you're at $2,294 per month for the middle range estimated living costs. Our above lower cost estimate would be for the 2 of us living on a tight budget. When we first started exploring, we were on a much tighter budget years ago, but now we spend more because we receive additional income from YouTube and memberships. I would estimate that 80 to 90% of the overseas retirees will spend significantly more than our above estimated lower budget. So the middle estimate is just another example of what other expats might spend for these expenses if they moved here. To understand what it would cost you to live here, You must put your feet on the ground, see what you would choose to rent, eat, drink, and how you would entertain yourself, and add it all up. It doesn't matter what anyone else spends because we are all different. If you are a retired expat in Serbia and would like to share your cost of living, please leave a comment below and I'll invite you on the channel as a guest. Okay, Serbian retirement desirability factors. I will now share what I learned at the time of my visit in the summer of 2024 about Serbian retirement visas, healthcare, walkability, internet, food, weather, things to do, social considerations, safety, expat communities, and real estate, and then assign an overall retirement desirability score to Serbia. Okay, walkability. I would say hi. We walked everywhere in Belgrade, Serbia. 𝐶𝐈 was not with me on this trip. She waited too long to apply for her visa. I didn't need a visa. We found all of our daily needs within a 5 to 20-minute walk of our apartment, so we would not need a car if we lived in Belgrade. Avoiding the expenses of a car would be highly desirable to us. Okay, internet. I would say hi. The Wi-Fi in our Airbnb had 50 megabits per second down and 30 megabits per second upload speeds. That's good enough for us to do Zoom calls, upload YouTube videos, and watch Netflix. Okay, food. I would say hi. There were farmers markets not far from our apartment. They do have our favorite grocery store in Belgrade, Lidl, but since 𝐶𝐈 wasn't here to be my sous chef, I ate out mostly. I shopped at a grocery store just 2 blocks from our apartment. For fresh fruits, vegetables, and meats, would shop in the farmer's market. Our webpage with links to all of these resources I'm sharing is the first link in the first comment below this video. Okay, there are local restaurants with delicious meals starting for around $8 to $12 US. There's also a large selection of foreign restaurants running from about 16 to 18 per meal, both in and outside the tourist area. Weather, medium. Average daytime highs in Belgrade in the month of January are 41 Fahrenheit, which is 5 Celsius, but gradually increase until July to 83 Fahrenheit and 28 Celsius daytime highs. Average nighttime lows in Belgrade in January are 33 Fahrenheit, which is about 0 Celsius, but gradually increase until July to 63 Fahrenheit or 17 Celsius nighttime lows. These are averages, not extremes. The best weather runs from May through October. The rainy season is May through July, but is mostly moderate. It snows in Belgrade about 27 days per year, but snow sticks on the ground for somewhere between 30 and 40 days per year on average. So Belgrade has only medium weather for me because I would want to fly south to warmer weather for at least 4 months of the year. Okay, things to do. I would say hi. Belgrade is one of the most interesting cities in the Balkans when it comes to culture, nightlife, and a seemingly endless set of things to do. The Belgrade International Theater Festival, the 𝗵𝐵𝐺 Belgrade Music Festival, the International Echo Fair, the Belgrade Book Fair, the Belgrade Jazz Festival, the Free Zone Film Festival, the Balkan Wine Fair, the Belgrade Wine Fair, and the International Food and Drink Fair. There are also live music and DJ music venues and the party scene along the waterfront, museums, art galleries, art exhibits, and all sorts of entertainment and things to do you would expect to find in a capital city of 1.4 million people. Okay, social considerations. I would say hi. The larger cities, as you move closer to the center, as many as 40 to 50% of the people under age 40 seem to be able to speak tourist level English or better with me. About half of those can have a conversation about many subjects in English. People would just look at me and somehow know to start speaking English. Okay, safety considerations. I would say hi. Serbia was ranked 54th safest country in the world, 78 spots safer than the USA. Link provided. When I last checked, the U.S. State Department webpage for Serbia published a level 2 risk, exercise increased precaution. You can also review my report, How to Travel the World Safely, which is how I have remained safe traveling the world for 17 years. I went out walking after midnight in Old Town Belgrade and never felt a hint of trouble. Links to all of this below. Okay, expat community, hi. According to some estimates, around 100,000 expats live in Serbia. Although it is in Europe, it is not an official EU member country. It has not adopted the euro as its currency, and it's not a Schengen visa country. For those three reasons, it is cheaper to live here, and people traveling around Europe come here to wait for 90 days before going back to more expensive Schengen member countries. This confirms what I have known for decades. Prices seem to rise rapidly when countries adopt the euro as their currency, especially when they are also a Schengen member country. Here are a few Facebook pages that cater to English-speaking expats living in Serbia. 5 of them, in fact. These online expat communities are great for learning all about things that expats want to learn when they first move overseas. Make sure to search for previous questions asked and answered recently before posting any new questions to these groups. It will be appreciated by the people. Medical, I would say hi. The Healthcare International Comparison Index ranks Serbia 80th in the world, 11 spots lower than the United States, which ranks 69th. There are different ways healthcare is rated, but this one seems to be considering quality of care in relation to what patients are charged. If you decide to move here, make sure to ask around for referrals and establish relationships with doctors based on the feedback you've gotten from others who've used their services. The above expat Facebook pages I shared are often a good source for that sort of information. Okay, tourist visa. I would say hi. Citizens of many countries such as the UK, Australia, New Zealand, Canada, Malaysia, EU, USA, and many others are given 90 days of visa-free entry. But the law is always subject to change. Plus, visa-free entry varies based on your home country's passport, so double check both before booking anything. Okay, residence permits. There seems to be 3 ways that retired people live in Serbia long term. Owning a business, buying a property, or establishing yourself in the country. We are not discussing other kinds of visas such as work visas since we are focused upon retirement. Okay, establishing yourself here. Apply for a visa beforehand or come here on a visa-free entry and rent or buy an apartment. Once you have your white registration card, open a bank account for your retirement pension to be deposited. Americans should use Erste Bank or OTP because so far they're willing to do the reporting required to the U.S. government about foreign accounts. Then you have local verifiable deposits to prove you have enough to live on. You will also need proof of health insurance and other documents. Then submit your 1-year residency permit application no less than 30 days prior to your visa-free entry expiration. Many expats recommend using a lawyer to do all of this the first time around. The second way, owning a property. Some expats report a smoother process by buying real estate in Serbia. Serbia doesn't have a minimum purchase price to qualify for residency, but the property must be approved by the governing authority. So you should use a qualified lawyer to make sure this goes smoothly. Owning a business. In order to use this method of obtaining residency, things will go more smoothly if you are establishing a foreign branch in Serbia of an active company in another country. These requirements are not published online anywhere I could find, so you may need to hire a local lawyer with this skill set. Permanent residency is possible after 5 years using any of the 3 methods by renewing your annual residency visa. After 5 years, you can apply for permanent residency. To find a reputable lawyer or visa agent, I would recommend that you request a referral to an agent or lawyer from an expat that's already used that agent's services to obtain residency using the specific above method you intend to use above to obtain residency. I would locate such an expat via inquiry at the Facebook pages I shared above. Ask the expats there for an agent or better yet, an immigration lawyer who they've already successfully used personally to get a residence permit of the method you intend to use. Okay, real estate, I would say medium. Foreigners in Serbia can buy, sell, and rent their real estate in Serbia based upon a reciprocity rule. If Serbians are allowed to buy real estate in your home country, you can buy real estate in Serbia. Today, I saw this furnished one-bedroom apartment for sale in Belgrade for 145,000 euros, however, which is 160,000 US. However, I do not recommend buying real estate in a foreign country until you've lived there for an extended period of time, making sure you love it. If you decide to buy real estate, you should also get your own lawyer who has no conflict of interest with you. For example, do not use a lawyer recommended by a real estate broker or your local lover. Okay, Serbia retirement desirability score overall. I would say medium. The winters are fairly mild here in Belgrade as compared to other parts of Northern Europe, but it's still too cold for me to live here year-round. So I would need to fly south for the winter. But if only 45 days of snow on the ground and 4 seasons is what you prefer, then you may want to rank this as high. What would it cost you to live here in Belgrade, Serbia? You should also add anything to the above table that you spend money on in your home country that's not listed in the table. Presumably, you find those things necessary in life. To do that, visit Numbeo Belgrade and add anything not mentioned in the table, link provided. Also, if you're going to try to retire cheap offshore, make sure to read my report, The 2 Biggest Risks of Retiring Early for Cheap Offshore, which explains why you should have emergency funds available for unexpectedly large expenses. Never move anywhere until you've visited first personally to verify the living costs for your lifestyle and needs. I'm not guaranteeing these prices. These are just my notes and estimates from the time of my visit and this post. Your costs will likely be drastically different depending on your lifestyle and the time since this post. Many of the expats we meet living overseas are self-insured for medical. That means that not everyone buys health insurance when they move overseas. That probably sounds crazy to many of you. I didn't carry medical insurance for most of my first 17 years living overseas, but last year I bought medical insurance. If you're wondering what it costs and what it covers, watch my medical insurance video at this link. It's not an affiliate link, but here. You can click it and watch it. More typical expat living costs in Belgrade range from about $1,500 to $3,000 per month, but people spending that much often have higher savings, incomes, or pensions. They often report spending more on accommodations, entertainment, eating out more often, traveling, and alcohol. Many also have more expensive cars, houses, or apartments. If you would like to learn how I fired my boss and left the United States 17 years ago and how I pay for my world travels, come to vagabondbuddha.com and grab a free copy of my ebook. To learn my top place to retire in the world and why, click the video appearing in the upper right-hand corner of your screen right now.